Thank you so much. This is such an honor and a privilege to stand here before you today. Congratulations, Melinda Balling, Judy Roman, and to our Debbie's Daring Dynamic Unit. We are welding women's lives together as we build the Weld Wall of Leaders. I am a former orchestra teacher. I played cello in a symphony for 20 years. I've been married to my husband Raymond, who's a chiropractor for 26 years. I've homeschooled my 2 boys. One is in college now at Texas Tech, studying engineering and part of the Army ROTC. My youngest is a senior, and we are going to have a big graduation party because we are celebrating my teacher retirement as well. When I'm not teaching next year, one of my goals is to learn Spanish. El próximo año mi discurso será en español. If you don't know what I said next year my speech will be in Spanish. I joined Mary Kay when my kids were 1 and 3.5 years old. I signed up for a hobby, something fun, something different, something extra for the discount. I thought to myself, what if I just practice on doing this on a few friends? What if I get a few people to do what I'm doing? And I started working, and I loved the prizes and the recognition. And I thought to myself, what if I could earn a free car? What a thrill it was when we did pick up that first free car. It was so exciting. And then my director told me I could win a diamond ring and earn that ring, and I didn't believe her. But she sent me pictures, and she cut out all the little diamonds out of the brochure that I wanted, and she mailed it to me. It was like confetti, and it had all these little rings that came out of my envelope. And I started to believe that I could do it. Because, you see, my husband had given me my first diamond ring, and he's never given me another one. But I earned that first diamond, and that was 14 diamonds ago. And then one year my husband said to me, everyone has an SUV. He has one, she has one, the neighbor has one, I want one. And I said, honey, I think I can earn one. And we did. We got a white Chevy Blazer. Then one day someone said something to me about my Mary Kay truck. And I'm not a truck kind of a girl. And I didn't especially like how it would snag my hose climbing in and out of that vehicle. So I decided I needed a Cadillac. But the Cadillac was a big, scary goal. And I was afraid to tell people I was working on my Cadillac because what if we didn't make that goal? But I told them anyway. And I dreamed and I envisioned myself driving one and where I would park it. And I told our unit we were working on earning it. And I remember praying over each Rolodex card, each of our unit members' names to reach that goal, and how exciting it was when that whole family was sitting around the computer when that last order went in to finish it. And I remember another year when my friend hit $500,000 in sales, and she earned an amazing 4.5 carat diamond ring. I would try hers on, and I started to believe that I could earn one too. And it took a few years, but eventually I got that same ring. And I love it, and my husband loves that ring, and he loves that he didn't have to buy that one for me. And then one year, I started to think maybe I could go on a top director trip, and it was to Hawaii that year, and we didn't make it. I geared up the next year for the trip to Spain, and we didn't make it. I kept working, I kept believing that we'd surely make the trip to Sweden. I even bought the travel books, and we still didn't make it. The next year was to Germany. And I watched the trip videos, I worked, and I believed. I was so disappointed when we didn't make it. I gave my friend the travel books, who earned the trip. But I wasn't giving up. The next year was to Rome. How fabulous it would be to go to Rome on our first trip. And we pulled together and we did it. I never worked so hard in my life that June. My friend who had been to Germany said, you have to call every single person in your unit. We had like 250 and 300 people. And then I called her and I said, I did it. And then she said, you have to call them all twice. And you have to send them a note. Well, I did it. And the thrill, the joy, the spiritual growth of doing what I was called to do was so exciting. And I can't tell you what it was like to go to the Colosseum in Rome. And when Mary Kay takes you, you are in a VIP group. And you walk past the massive lines of people. And you get a private special entrance and private tours. I will never forget riding the bullet train to Florence and seeing the Statue of David and going to the Vatican and seeing the Sistine Chapel. The next year we got to go to Greece on a luxury cruise. We rode donkeys down the hills of Santorini. Everything there was white and blue with crystal clear water. Our next trip was to Hawaii, and I got to snorkel for the first time there and zip line over the rainforest. I've been to Monte Carlo, and I've seen what it's like where the richest people in the world live. I've dined in the hall where Prince Rainier and Grace Kelly had their wedding reception. And I can't even begin to tell you what it was like to climb the Great Wall of China. Mary Kay had entertainment for us when we arrived. They had 5-star porta potties. These porta potties had running water, sinks, and mirrors so that we wouldn't have to use those ancient porta potties. And when we finished climbing the wall, there was an 8-course meal waiting for us at the bottom. I never knew my starter kit had all those trips in it. Does your kit have a trip in it?
Yes.
This journey is amazing. I love watching my unit members become directors, earn cars, diamonds, Cadillacs, become senior directors, quitting their jobs. It's indescribable. My goal now is to earn a pink Escalade.
Woo!
And I really want to read from a teleprompter someday. We work for an amazing company that gives us so much if you are willing to work and believe that you can have it all for you and your family. What is your reason? What is your purpose for being in Mary Kay? Is it to change a life like mine? Thank goodness Dave Van Mouw took Mary Kay serious that third time that she signed up, or I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have met all the amazing women that I work with. I wouldn't have my best friends in the world that are all in Mary Kay. Do you all remember when the book, The Purpose-Driven Life, came out a few years ago? 23 million people bought it. People out there are looking for their purpose. Your purpose is to be in Mary Kay. God already said yes because you are in Mary Kay.
Yep.
This is your purpose. What if your assignment is to meet a Debbie Weld, or a Dave Van Mouw, or a Melinda Balling, or a Judy Roman? I've always heard stories that Mary Kay would stand in line, shaking hands for hours and hours, and she would just say, pass it on. 25% of women out there are lonely. Go find them so they can have a social calendar. Pass it on until you meet that bored, lonely housewife that needs something more. Or that overworked teacher who wants to stay home and have more time with her family. Or that mom who just needs gas money to take her baby to the children's hospital for surgery and appointments. Or that lady going through a divorce and she's losing her eyesight. Or that gal whose childhood dream of owning a boutique didn't turn out the way she thought it would. Or that mom who doesn't want to take her kids to daycare. Become brave and have 20 seconds of courage to call that lady you've been scared to ask. Or call those referrals, or talk to a stranger. God is putting people in your path for you to offer them a facial. Maybe that is your purpose in your work that God wants you to do. If you have a pulse, you have a purpose. God has deposited dreams and purpose inside of you. You have to develop it. Develop what He's deposited by being diligent and disciplined. When I was in the 3rd grade, I did not want to practice my cello. My parents made me. I wanted to throw it across the room. But in junior high, I didn't have to be told to practice all the time. In high school and college, I spent hours and hours practicing and playing. That discipline helped me when I joined Mary Kay to not give up, to pick up that phone even when I wanted to throw it across the room and I didn't want to make those booking calls. I've probably done thousands of faces over the years, working my way up step by step, adding a little more belief along the way, doing the work to see if God has planted NSD inside of me. And I'll keep working and collecting all the experiences along the way until He says I'm ready. What has God put inside of you? A red jacket? A car driver? Sales director? A national sales director? Do the work. Find your destiny. Women are waiting for you to find them. They are looking for this opportunity. I heard a statistic last year that Delta Airlines had 1,000 openings for flight attendant. 50,000 women applied. Guess what? Mary Kay, you don't have to wait for them to call you to get the position. Just do the work that's required. There are women out there who will wake up single tomorrow. Women who will wake up without a job, or their husband won't have a job. We offer hope and a plan B. Will you help and work your field? You might have hidden treasure in your field. Where has God planted you? Bloom where you're planted. I believe you're special, you're unique, you've got potential to be who you were created to be. I read recently about how men become Navy SEALs. There's an intense 7-month program where instructors drive men to within inches of their lives. They have grueling exercises where instructors break the men down, and then they add more grueling training. The men, they watch man after man leave the program, and they watch for the ones who would rather die than quit, the ones with no quit in them. Then they take those men and put them through Hell Week, where 2/3 will drop out. If the option to quit and give up is available, and they decide that it is an option, they will take the quit option when circumstances get too tough. You will have circumstances and situations in Mary Kay because we deal with people, but I beg you, don't ever give yourself the quit option because you'll miss out on your miracle. It's waiting for you. Be committed and decide to make this work for you, and I will see you reach your goals and your dreams. Thank you. Have a great conference.